8 Relationships between the greatest creator and human beings. Xiefeng. Human beings have direct or indirect relationships with all other matters and things in the universe, of which the relationship with the greatest creator is the most important. These relationships directly determine the extinction or survival of human beings, and the prospect of each individual. This chapter will discuss the 8 relationships between the greatest creator and humans. The relationship in physical appearance. The greatest creator is amorphous and thus can be in any form. The form of human beings is designed based on the form of the heaven God. That is to say, the appearance of humans resembles that of the God rather the greatest creator. The relationship of wisdom. The gods in heaven were created by the greatest creator, but we were not produced directly by the greatest creator. Black Africans and red American natives were the first batch of people to be created by the gods, white Europeans and Egyptians were the second batch to be created, and yellow Asians centered in China came from the Elysium world. They are the third batch of people on earth and are mutations of dragons who were followers of the god of darkness, so the ancestors of the Asian race were not human. Adam and Eve were the ancestors of the Israelis and most Middle Easterners, and they were created by another god in the Garden of Eden. We can never reach the wisdom of the greatest creator. Only gods can understand the wisdom of the greatest creator. Africans and Europeans, when refined to a certain high level, can understand the wisdom of gods. With the genes of celestial beings and the Buddha, Asians can recognize the Tao of nature and can possess the wisdom of celestial beings and the Buddha. Finally, Israelis and most Middle Easterners lie in between. Affiliation. The humans are not directly administered by the greatest creator. Instead, they are governed by the gods in the heaven. Humans are administered by one god. However, the relationship is often intervened and damaged by another god. Because the god world also follows the principle of unity of the opposites, these two gods are equal in power and strength, unable to beat the other side. So the mortal world can never reach the perfect state or maintain peace. The human heart is always seeking balance between good and evil, and beauty and ugly. For example, one god has created Adam and Eve and the opposing god has planted a so-called wisdom tree in the Garden of Eden, alluring Adam and Eve to eat the fruit, which changed the genetic model of the thought of Adam and Eve. The God who created Adam and Eve knew about the evil intention of the other God and repeatedly told Adam and Eve not to eat the fruit on the wisdom tree. However, Adam and Eve failed to resist the temptation and were trapped by the other God. The God got angry and expelled Adam and Eve out of Eden. We call the God who genuinely cares for the human beings as the God of light, and the other God as the God of darkness. Jesus is the representative of the God of light and Satan is that of the God of the darkness. The God of light is concerned about the future and destiny of the human beings. It cares about the life perfection of each individual person, hoping the humans can reach the freedom and happiness in their mind, and the freedom and pleasure in their flesh by pursuing the sincerity, kindness and beauty. Fully aware of the position of the human beings in the competition between the God of light and the God of darkness, Sakyamuni has taught his followers to forsake the human life and seek surmounting to break away from the God of light and God of darkness and get into the Elysium world directly out of the samsara world. In surface, the God of darkness cares for the humans very much. He teaches people to pursue possessions, wealth, power, position, beauty, fame, success, ownership and luxury life. In every means, the God of darkness keeps the people busy with the immediate interest so that they don't have enough time to have deep thinking. His purpose is to fail the plan of the God of light. In essence, the God of darkness doesn't care for the human beings at all. He is just distracting the people from the real life purpose. The cause and effect relationship. Though not governing us directly, the greatest creator knows our present and futures clearly. He is also fully aware of the rivalry between the gods of light and of darkness. The God of light hopes to bring everlasting light to the mortal world while the God of darkness hopes to sink the mortal world into perpetual darkness. However, either everlasting light or perpetual darkness would damage the unity of opposites in the universe. So they have to maintain a balance. The greatest creator cares for us by setting up a cause and effect relationship, an order and a procedure. First, the greatest creator has given us a certain degree of free will, allowing us to select between light and darkness on our own, so the greatest creator has given us exactly what we have pursued and we deserve our current situation. The greatest creator has neither deprived nor added anything. We are simply following the path laid out by the greatest creator. For instance, Adam and Eve could make their own decision of whether or not to eat the fruit on the wisdom tree. Had they not eaten it, they would have continued to enjoy their lives in Eden forever, but once they ate it, they were driven out of Eden and had to work hard to survive. We will be treated the same way that we treat others. The God will treat us the same way that we treat the God. We will receive for what we have paid. The more we have paid, the more we will be rewarded. What we have paid and what we will receive will always be equal. As you sow, so shall you reap. Plant sesames and you cannot grow watermelons, sow grass seeds and you cannot grow crops. What goes around comes around, such a life, such a death. The greatest creator is fair and impartial and rewards us in accordance with our actions. Our past delivered our present, which is delivering our future. Such is our causal relationship with the greatest creator.